laptop. Gogobot. This is Travis and Ori. Take it away, guys. Last demo of the night.
So while we're getting this set up, I'll just give you a little bit of the background. So Gogobot's a social travel site, and the idea of Gogobot is to make it easier for you to plan and share your trips by connecting into your social graph through sites like Facebook and Twitter to get and share great advice about where you should go. I had the idea for this site when I was actually living in London working for MySpace, and I was traveling a lot, both for work, but I was also traveling with my wife on the weekends. We were taking weekend getaways, and we kept picking places we wanted to go that we hadn't been before, and then we'd start this process of saying, okay, let's go to the south of France, that sounds great. And so we'd hop on the computer and we would start on Google where everyone starts. And we would find ourselves 8 hours later, still sitting in front of the computer with bloodshot eyes and headaches, and still have no idea what we're supposed to do, no idea where we're supposed to go. And found ourselves repeating the cycle over and over again, and we would always end up in the same situation of, gosh, if I could find just one friend who'd been to this place who could give me some tips of how to get started, I think I would be okay. And so I'd blast out my friends on Facebook, I'd blast out my friends on Twitter, I'd send people emails, and if I couldn't find anyone, I'd end up breaking down and buying a guidebook, and I would find myself just fuming, steam coming out of my ears saying, how is it in 2010 that I need to buy a guidebook? That makes no sense. Something is badly broken. So we decided to come up with Gogobot to try and solve this problem. Yet, this is not an insignificant problem, by the way. There's more than $100 billion is spent on online travel in the US alone. It's a huge market. Internationally, worldwide, it's about $350 billion. So let me just sort of give you the high-level tour of what we're doing at Gogobot. We launched the site in private beta 8 weeks ago. We opened up a couple weeks later, and we've been sort of building momentum ever since. This is the home page. So this is my logged in. This isn't my account because I've got admin little links all over the place that look a little ugly. But this is the home page of Gogobot. And essentially what you see is it's laid out much more like a social site than what you would expect like a TripAdvisor or a traditional travel site. There's a few different things I can do on here. I can, if I want to plan a trip, I can click this button. I'll walk you through that thing. I can see questions from people who are looking for advice in different places. I don't even know where Beaufort is. Beaufort, South Carolina, Montreal, New York City. So people can post questions out to their networks as well as internally in the community to get tips about where they should go. I actually used this site for the first time on a real trip. Sorry, I have to turn around backwards because my monitor's not mirroring. Let me find my own account. So I went to New York in December for a few days.
Me, I have no idea what this is.
So I was in New York at the beginning of December for a few days. I had some meetings out there, and I had the same thing that always happens when I go to New York, which is, where should I eat dinner tonight? Where should we go out after dinner? Where should I take people out? And in New York, things are changing a lot. There's great restaurants. So when you're there, you want to have a great experience. But unless you live there, you never really know what's going on. So I actually posted a question out from Gogobot to my network on Facebook. And you can see I got 46 responses from people. And what's different about what we're doing on Gogobot versus, today obviously you can post a question out to your networks. People do it all the time. If you watch your Facebook network, people are constantly posting travel questions. The difference when I do this on Gogobot is we instantly link the recommendations to topic pages so that I'm not just getting the name of the place, which is the starting point of a huge slog through Google to try and find out where is this place, what kind of restaurant is it, something I'm interested in. We capture all that there, so you can see I've got links to maps, opening hours, I can see where is it relative to my hotel, I can, whether it's popping open a map on Google so I can see, okay, that's sort of in the neighborhood where I'm going to be. I can just sort of go through these things and figure out which things I want to do, which are convenient to where I am. This was a completely mind-blowing experience for me to actually use it and see it in action, to get all these great advice. And when I see things that I want to do, I can click a button. You can't see on this because this isn't my account, but I can click a button that says add it to my trip plan. And my trip plan basically is something that looks like this, where we basically take all the places you plan to go, or you're even thinking of going in my case. We plot them out all on a map so you can see where they are relative to each other. We've got all the information here at Katz's Deli, of course, my alma mater. We've got phone numbers so I can call and make reservations. I can click over and see more about it. And all this information that I had, essentially what I have here is a guidebook customized for my specific trip, curated by my friends, and all I had to do to get this was post a question out to my Facebook friends. It took me about 30 seconds. It's a big, big leap forward in terms of solving this problem and helping me find things that I'm looking for. But that's not all that we do. So a couple other things I want to show you on here. We have a feature, actually, do you guys want to see a feature that we haven't launched yet?
Yeah.
How many people use Gogobot already?
We aren't disclosing that, but what I can
No,
tell
no, no,
you...
I was asking this audience.
How many of you guys, how many people have signed up, actually?
Yeah, we're not disclosing it either, right?
Okay, so we're gonna...
About 30%,
To get to
35.
the questions, I'll be interested to hear people's experiences and as users, especially what things you like and what you don't. This is obviously a minimum viable product. We just got it out to market. Can you got on stage, Ori? So we'll show you a feature that we're actually planning to launch in the near future. So one of the things that people like on Gogobot, we created a feature called My Passport that basically lets me collect all the places that I've been on my travels in different parts of my life and keep them in one place both so I can remember where I went. Because how many times do you come back from a trip and then a year later someone's like, oh, I'm going to Paris too. Did you eat any good restaurants? And you're like, well, yeah, I ate in a ton of great restaurants, but I have no idea what they were anymore. I've completely forgotten. We've created this concept of a passport, which basically lets you collect all these different places that you've been. You can write notes about them, reviews, and share them with your friends, both so you can remember as well as your friends can come to your page and discover new ideas through you. So if your friends are planning a trip, they can see which of their friends have been to London, for example. And so here, this is my London collection. So these are the different hotels that I've stayed in London, and I have my tips of which ones I like. If you scroll down the page, you can see restaurants, some restaurants that I like, different things to do. So then, my friends, I lived in London for 2 years, so I have a lot of friends who are going to London. They're asking me for advice of what should I do when I'm in London, what are some good restaurants. I can just send them my page and my passport and say, here's my London collection, take this, I'd recommend you go to these 3 things. And it saves them a whole lot of time and saves me the hassle of recommending things over and over again. I don't know, I guess maybe it would be more interesting to go into sort of the Q&A. So we've been just
That's awesome, by the way.
So, we also got, in case any of you are online now or when you go home, we were nominated for a Crunchy for 2010 Crunchy for the Best Design category, which we are pretty honored since we were only live to the public for about 4 weeks in 2010, and most people were gone for the holidays in that time, so we were flattered that anyone noticed. We take a lot of pride in our design and also in sort of our imagery. We believe that planning a trip should be almost as exciting as going on the trip itself. It should be about getting excited, discovering the places you want to visit, the things you want to see. But if you look at most travel sites today, they're actually super text heavy, super ad heavy. You're getting pop-ups everywhere, and it's not at all the experience you want to have when you're planning a trip. It's miserable. It feels like work. You're slogging through stuff. They're slapping ads on your face. We've hand curated more than 90,000 high resolution. These are optimized for full screen iPad resolution. 90,000 photos, and we're augmenting that day by day and really building up sort of the visual experience. So both in the way that you share things, but in the way that you discover what you want to do. It's a lot more fun and just feels like what you want from a travel site. We've been getting great feedback from users. We've got some great coverage in the press. We got written up in the Wall Street Journal and in USA Today, as well as TechCrunch. We were a pick on Thrill List and some other folks. So It's been a
So
crazy first 8 weeks.
what have you learned? What was the biggest surprise in the first 8 weeks? You launched 8 weeks ago. You thought you knew it, and then you launched. And what did the feedback tell you that you're surprised about?
I mean, actually, one of the things that's been most surprising, was a positive surprise, was that it's been much more engaging. People have been much more engaged with the product than we were initially anticipating. We got a TechCrunch post when we launched, and you normally get a little wave of traffic that comes through and they look at your site and then they leave. We found a month in that 75% of our users had been back more than 3 times, which was a pretty, staggering number. And we're still seeing the average time on site for people visiting is over 6 minutes, which is pretty high engagement. That's the kind of engagement you see on a social network with people, like on MySpace, you see that. We weren't expecting that because we were assuming most people weren't actually planning a trip right now and wouldn't have a reason to spend time on the site. But people are playing around and engaging. I should mention, by the way, that we're backed by Innovation Endeavors, Dror Berman, who's here in the room, as well as Battery Ventures. If any of you are looking to raise money, I would highly recommend talking to Dror. He's been awesome, both in terms of counsel, in terms of making introductions, helping us with a lot of stuff. So we feel great about having Dror there. He also banked with me.
Why did you pick them, by the way? Travis, you could probably have gone to lots of different investors. Why'd you go with Endeavor? Pretend they're not in the room for a second. One is also, by the way, raise your hand, one. Both of them are from Endeavor.
We liked Dror a lot. We thought he was great. He understood what we were trying to do. He understood the product. The connection with Eric Schmidt doesn't hurt. I think we thought that's, always a nice, a nice name to have sort of associated with the company as well. And he's been really helpful in terms of just taking us on nice, flyovers to the Bay Area, taking us to yachts on the weekends. I'm kidding about that. One day.